So you have a mining contract from the government. Sure, you know you're partly an ambassador for your company, your country, and your culture. But unfortunately for you, mining is more like an even bigger relationship. Contracts are the easy part, but you're going to be in this place for a long, long time. Now you have to face the local people and not only seek your social license to operate, but live there. You're getting married. This is the hard part. Now you may be thinking, I didn't sign on for all this squishy stuff. I'm a business manager, a geologist, engineer. Let someone else worry about this community relations stuff. It's a pain in the neck, and there are more important things, and I don't know what they want anyway. It's not my thing. Here's a little incentive. If you're only interested in the bottom line, remember that when violent conflict shuts down a sizable mine, it can cost the company up to $20 million a week in losses. It's better to learn to deal. Mining is not like manufacturing. Manufacturing is more like dating. If it's better somewhere else, you can just leave and go somewhere else. Mining is more like marriage. You're really, really there for the duration. So ask yourself, what kind of marriage do you want? One where the people hate each other, where they aren't speaking? Or one where they get along and are partners even if there are some disagreements? You're building a relationship. And here's the ugly secret about all relationships, and you know it already. Giving presents is nice. Somebody listening and being patient, that's what everyone really wants. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. You know that even if you want to do the nicest things for the people in the community, you still have to answer to your company and your boss, and you need to think about all the technical demands of the project. In the rush, it's easy to make assumptions about how the community will behave. You think, people are the same everywhere, like they are back home, and that you can treat them that way. They're not. Maybe think of it as geology, social geology. How have various historical events and pressures shaped this landscape? Where are the fault lines? Do social seismic readings? The bad news about this? First, it's complicated and tricky. You have to look at a lot of issues from a lot of angles and weigh them. Second, it takes a lot of time. Third, get over it. And fourth, you can do this, although you may have to go without sleep for the foreseeable future. Most companies do social economic mapping first. Many countries also demand it. It's a great idea. Know the lay of the land. Start by identifying all the stakeholders, near and far, the noisy, and the shy. Open and maintain direct lines of communication with all of them throughout the entire mining project. What you're thinking is, their demands keep changing. No matter what we offer, they keep asking for more, and we have limits. I have more important things to deal with, and this stuff is not our job. How many people do I really have to deal with, and who's just trying to scam us by threatening to make trouble? One way to think of this is that their messages are in layers. There's text, context, and subtext. Beyond what they actually say, ask yourself, why are they saying it? What's going on around them to make them say it? What do they really mean, and how do they really feel? Assume nothing. Lots of only semi-related things are happening at the same time, and you have to be aware of all of them. Understand the politics, the history, the economics, and the lives of the people of the area, and ask yourself, how do we fit in? How will we influence things even inadvertently? This is a great thing to do on the plane ride there. Ask yourself, what's the history of mining in the area? Is it really bad, filled with broken promises and ruined land? If so, look forward to making a public apology for stuff you had nothing to do with. In isolated areas, the community may see you as a proxy for the government. So, how do they feel about the government? And what does this mean for you? Maybe they see this as their only ticket out of poverty. And since they have none of your insider information, they build up unrealistic dreams, and they will not believe you when you downplay your potential revenues, because they believe that they or their country has been cheated in the past, and sometimes they're right. You both know that your project may ruin their land, their homes, and their livelihoods, so their concerns are personal. There can be conflicts over competing property rights. Some about your operation, some not, traditional versus formal rights, Western or international law, and indigenous law. Some places don't recognize the rights of the central government to make these decisions. People will want to know everything. What's going to happen, how it will happen, who you are, and if you're any good, what's in it for them, what it'll take from them. And transparency can be your friend. Curiosity can be a really good thing. And two last, perhaps more important things to understand are, sometimes the local people will do stuff to get your attention. Sometimes the things they do are a form of negotiation to get what they want. Maybe it's money, but maybe it's something else. Maybe they're trying to tell you that you're not treating them with respect, or that you're making a big damaging mistake that will hurt them. You may wonder why they do it that way, but then again, maybe you have your own ways of doing business that seem pretty strange to them. And sometimes you're just caught in the crossfire, in the middle of something that you have no control over, but this doesn't mean you should just pretend it doesn't matter. 4 things are necessary if it's ever going to work, and a lot of this you already know. First, listen and hear them. Let them do the talking. And take what they're saying seriously. Remember, text, context, subtext. Start with, tell me about the history of this place, or what do I do to be a good long-term neighbor? No matter what it takes, spend all the time needed to explain it, but also stay open to change. Start a conversation with them. Respect is everything, and being able to prove you are trying to work with them really matters. Things become violent most often if people feel you're not hearing what they're saying. Second, build trust. You develop trust through visible and consistent integrity. Establish a clear, streamlined, predictable, and acceptable policy with a clear chain of command, and communicate it and its rationale to the people in the company and the community. It takes time. It's a matter of accumulation. If really necessary, get good community relations professionals in to talk to or train the staff. Yes, it's squishy and boring, but it does provide guidelines, and it does offer an objective standard so you can judge acceptable company behavior. Last word on the subject, treat people as you yourself would like to be treated. Third, be honest. They want to know what they're going to get out of it, so don't promise jobs that may not happen. Be honest about environmental impacts. And as much as humanly possible, work with best practices. Never spin something or lie, because if you do, it will come back to haunt you. So finally, what does engagement look like? Here's a wish list. Formalized but genuinely open access mechanisms. Ongoing, frequent meetings between the community, not just civil society or the government, and the top mining managers. Timely, clear grievance mechanisms, so you can resolve little problems before they become big ones. In some places, the government isn't a dependable source for the community you're working in, so you may have to shoulder some of the social services. Be aware of indirect impacts. There are times the neighbors will feel left out and angry, so think preemptively. And to the extent possible, share decision-making. The more you include them, the stronger the relationship will be. And ask yourself, as you're finally falling asleep, the bigger question. With all that I have and know, what can I do for this area that will help it grow and prosper?